Good morning. Today we remember the morning of Christ's Nativity, as John Milton so aptly called it. We remember that morning when Christ was born in the manger in Bethlehem, and the angels sang to the shepherds, telling them that the Savior had been born, and they should go to Bethlehem and see him. And the Magi, they came all the way from the east to see the Savior in the manger. The Magi led by the star. It's something you believe if you're a Christian. I mean, it's a core belief in Christianity. So if you don't believe that, if you don't believe that actually that baby was God, or that he was born as described in the scriptures, as described in the Gospels, then I don't know. I mean, I don't know that you really are a Christian. So, one of the traditions in this part of the country one of the Christmas traditions in this part of the country that I've got fond memories of is of, so-called night angels going from home to home, singing Christmas hymns, the morning of, in the early hours of Christmas morning. And last night I think I heard them, but from afar. They didn't come to a compound. Maybe they stopped at a gate or something. But yes, it was a great tradition that went all the way back to maybe 30 to 40s. I remember Dr. Tom Rush, who was born around 1940, writing in one of his columns that I used to be part of that. He used to be part of those choirs that would go from home to home in Kashmir, in Kabwahi, where he was born, singing those Christmas hymns. I believe those night angels were trying to imitate the angels that awakened the shepherds, or that announced the shepherds that the Savior had been born. And one of the good things about the Christmas hymns, one of the things that I truly love about the Christmas hymns, is that they capture the essence, the core of the gospel. Most of them, they're about the birth or the passion or the eternal glory of the Savior. For example, if you look at the Rock of Ages clapped for me, let me hide myself in the water and the blood, from the river inside which flowed, be of sin the double cure, cleanse me from its guilt and power. So you see that he's talking about the passion of the Christ, the water and the blood which flowed from his side, and the reward, or the benefit for the believer that comes out of that passion. The fact that blood that flowed can cleanse the believer from the power and the guilt of sin. That is, going right to the heart of the gospel. The same thing with the Christmas hymns. Most of them, they will talk about the birth of Christ, Noel, 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 how the angels sang those words when they announced the birth to the shepherds. And they talk about Mary, they talk about that morning in Bethlehem. So they go right to the heart of the gospel, to the fact that the Savior was born, to the fact that that Savior indeed saved the world. That is the sort of message that you get out of the hymns. And the thing about the hymns, they represent different levels of creativity. First of all, you have the creativity of the poets that compose the hymns. Poets like Augustine Toplady, poets like Charles Wesley, poets like Isaac Watts, William Cowper, John Newton. They composed this poem. They wrote those poems out of an overflow of their faith. They strongly believed the gospel, and they happen to have language talent, and so a combination of the two, the faith and the language talent, resulted in those hymns. And after they composed the hymns, then some musicians, some people who had the talented music, they set the hymns to they set hymns to music, and so we had not just poems but hymns. And it reminds me of a gentleman called David. He contacted me once after reading my book of poems, Still the Poems, Still the Poems, which incidentally was inspired by the Psalms and the hymns. And he asked me to, that collection of poetry, I mean, it was inspired by the Psalms and the hymns. And he asked me to set those poems music. I mean, I said it was fine. I don't know if I went, though. I've never had any hymns being sung out of the poem that I composed. Yeah, but it would be a great idea if I got someone else, or if David actually went ahead and did that. Yeah, that would be great to have the poetry that I composed set to music. And so those are the things. We have two different levels. You have the poets, the likes of William Cowper, and then the musicians who came and set the poems to music. And then there's a third level for the poems that we have in our part of the country. There are people that came and translated these poems to Nyankore Ruchiga to the same music. They written the music. If you have, for example, Rock of Ages, in the English version it says, Rock of Ages, cry out for me, let me hide myself in thee. And then when you come to my language, it is Ruchiri Ori Aniva Niwe Kamo. So you see, the music is just the same. It is just the words that were translated. And in translating the words as well, I think they had to use artistic license, to make a few alterations, but retain the core meaning in order to be able to retain the music. So that is a different level of art, a different type of art. The translation that is still retaining the creativity of the original. That is a third level. So there were three people involved: the poet that composed the poem, the person that set it to music, and then the third person who translated it to Nyankore Ruchiga without killing the meaning. So those are three groups of people who all contributed to the poems that are beloved so much in this part of the country, that are sung every Sunday, that are sung like on the night before Christmas, that are all over TikTok. If you use TikTok a lot and you've got some people from Ankore amongst the people that you follow, then I'm sure you've had lots of hymns sung by these people or played by these people. So that is something that is a big part of the culture of the Southeastern region, at least. People love hymns so much, they play them everywhere, at events, in church, at home, in cars, everywhere people love hymns. And those three people that are contributing to these hymns, they need to be acknowledged and credited. Alright, so like I said, it's Christmas morning and the hymns everywhere, people are celebrating and they're going to church, just about to go to church, most of them. And it's a wonderful day celebrating the birth of the Savior. And I hope that even for you, where you are, you're going to have a great day. Thank you.